Hi guys, how are you? Teacher Mario here. Before today's lesson, please check out our Instagram account abcenglish.tv where I share grammar notes, exercises, and more for you to do on your own pace. The links will be in the description. Now we're going to start with the first topic from Unit 3, defining and non-defining relative clauses. First, let's define what a relative clause is. A relative clause is a dependent clause that modifies a noun or a noun phrase. It is also known as an adjective clause because it provides more information about a noun. Basically, it has the same function as an adjective. Relative clauses have a subject and a verb, but cannot stand alone as a sentence. They always begin with a relative pronoun, which replaces a noun phrase, or a pronoun. Now, we use relative pronouns like who to refer to people, that to refer to people or things, which to refer to things, whose to refer to possession or relationships, where to refer to places, when to refer to times, why to refer to reasons or explanations. For example, number 1. I know a guy who lives in France. Here we're using the relative pronoun who because we're talking about a guy who is a person. However, we can also use the relative pronoun that without problem. Number 2, I cannot forget the song which they played last night. Number 3, social exercise programs that offer fun group workouts are on the rise. To choose the relative pronoun correctly, just identify the noun in your sentence. It is a person, a thing, a time, or a place, and go from there. Now that we have cleared the air about what a relative clause is, let's talk about the two types of relative clauses, defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses, and what characteristic they each one has. Keep in mind that in unit number 3, exploring new cities, we are talking about cities, buildings, and everything that a city has to offer, but relative clauses are used with all sorts of topics. We are going to begin with defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses are used to provide essential information about a person, thing, place, or time. They usually appear immediately after the noun they describe, and they are introduced by a relative pronoun. The easiest way to identify a defining relative clause is by counting how many ideas, topics we have in our sentence. Defining relative clauses have just one idea. For example, number 1. People like to go to restaurants that have good food. Here we observed only one idea, the fact that people like to go to restaurants that have good food. Now, restaurants is my noun and that have good food is my defining clause, which is a description of what kind of places people like going to. Number 2, Montreal, it is a sophisticated city where some of the best cuisine in Canada is found. Here we have one idea, and since city is my noun, we are using where as our relative pronoun because it refers to a place. Number 3, the spring and fall are the seasons when most people come to visit. Now, non-defining relative clauses provide extra information about a person or thing that it is not essential to the sentence meaning. They can be omitted without affecting the sentence content. Keep in mind that non-defining relative clauses are separated from the main part of a sentence by commas. The easiest way to identify a non-defining relative clause is by counting how many ideas, topics we have in our sentence. Non-defining relative clauses have two ideas. For example, number 1. Bangkok, which is the capital of Thailand, has many excellent restaurants and markets. Here we observed two ideas: the excellent restaurants and markets that Bangkok has, and the fact that it is the capital of Thailand. Now, which is the capital of Thailand is my non-defining relative clause, that extra piece of information about Bangkok. Number two, over 1 million people come to Pamplona in July when the festival of San Fermin takes place in the Spanish city. Here we can find two ideas: the fact that 1 million people travel to Pamplona in July and that San Fermin's festival takes place. As you might have noticed, our noun is July, which is a season, a period of time. That's why we are using when as our relative pronoun to introduce our non-defining relative clause. Number three, Beijing has many popular touristic attractions, which include the Summer Palace and the Forbidden City. Now, the relative pronoun that can be used for people or things in defining relative clauses. However, it cannot be used as replacement for where or when with the meaning in which, at which, or during which. For example, number one. Many of the people that live in Paris leave the city in August to vacation in other places. Number two, a statue of dogs that can be found in Boston is a popular touristic attraction for children. Number three, Pamplona is that city in Spain where the bulls run through the streets during the summer festival. Number four, summer is the season when New York is crowded with tourists from all over the world. Now, the relative pronoun that cannot be used in non-defining relative clauses. The relative pronouns who, which, or where are used instead. For example, number one, Cairo, which has fascinated Europeans for ages, draws countless tourists each year. Number two, our tour guide, who knew a great deal about souvenirs in Otavalo, helped us buy some beautiful presents for our friends. Please make sure you practice, and if you have any doubt, let me know down on the comment section. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future lessons. See you on the next topic.